Hello, and welcome to the next section of our Google AI Educator series. In this section, we're going to be looking at an introduction to vibe coding. So, what is vibe coding? Well, have you ever found yourself trying to search for the perfect app or simulation or interactive experience to try and help your students, but you can never find exactly what you need? Well, we're going to explore in this section a shift from us being passive consumers of technology to something called vibe coding, where using natural language, we can describe to Gemini exactly what it is that we want. And it's like we've got a custom app designer at our fingertips who can design exactly the code that we need. So, traditional coding is often seen as quite a precise manual task, like building a structure brick by brick. But vibe coding differs from that because really we're not focusing so much on the process, but we're thinking about what we want it to be like. What do we want how do we want the app to respond? So we're not actually worrying ourselves with writing lines of code. We're interacting with the AI as though it's a professional developer sitting right next to us and describing in plain outcomes what we want the app to be or the experience to be. So we can go from rapid prototyping. So if we come up with an idea, we can very quickly transform it into a digital tool within minutes. And we can start to build an interactive model or a concept simulator that doesn't currently exist in an app store or on a website. It's very, very simple just to build one ourselves. And like other areas of AI, it's an iterative approach. So we can ask it to create something, but if it's not exactly what we want, well, then we can continue to work with Gemini to develop and to iterate until it is exactly what we want to use and it is going to be of the most benefit to our students. So let's take a look at this and move into a demo. So I'm going to move into the Gemini app. And when we're working with vibe coding in Gemini, it's often best to select the Canvas tool. So, what is Canvas? Well, Canvas is a real time collaborating and editing tool, which is great for coding. It's also great for written communications and presentations. And we'll come on to presentations shortly. But so let's just say for our students, we want to build a simple web tool. I want a slider for interest rate and a box for loan amount. And below that, show a large red number that calculates the total interest over 10 years. Make it look professional with a clean design. So we're looking to try and build this tool to help our students to understand these concepts of interest rates and loan amounts. So then we can just press go. And then what you're going to see is it's going to break into this collaborative space on the right hand side. So this is great. We've now got our tool here. So we can see that we've got our loan amount and then we've also got our interest rates. So we can slide our interest rates and see exactly what the repayments are going to look like, which is really, really helpful. So this is good, but maybe we're not quite happy with this. We can continue to build and work with Canvas. So I'm going to ask it to make the result font larger and also add a button to clear the loan amount. So let's just add that in, and then Gemini is going to make those changes for us. So this is good. We've increased the font size as we've asked it to. In fact, it's gone a little bit too big. So we could ask it to change that again. And we've also got this reset button in here as well, which is exactly what we asked for. So this is quite a nice little useful tool now that we've got to help students to understand the correlation between loan amounts and interest rates. So now I want to get this to my students. So how can I do that? Well, using the share button at the top, I can copy the contents. And what that actually means is I'm actually just copying the code that we've got here. Now, I don't need to understand this code because Gemini, as my expert developer, has written this for us. So I'm going to copy this code and it's in HTML format because I asked it to be a simple web tool, which is quite nice. So I'm going to grab that code and I'm going to move over to a new Google site. And within a Google site, we have this helpful button here called Embed. And I can click on here and then I can just embed my HTML code into here. And here we've got our nice little tool. And I can just drag this out to resize it to make it the size that I want for my site. And there we go. We've got our little calculator tool, which is quite nice. And then I can publish this and push it out via a Google Classroom. So that's really good. Let's move back to our presentation because now would be a really good time for you to practice. So maybe you want to pause the video at this point, and here's some ideas for you. So why don't you go to gemini.google.com, select the Canvas tools, and if you're in K-12, then maybe with the suggestion here is to create a simple fraction visualizer. Have a play with these and some practice, and then we'll come back for some reflection in a moment. So hopefully you managed to build something really useful for your class and for your students. So what have we learnt in this section so far? So we've seen, haven't we, how we can transform Gemini into our own personal software engineer. Really, what we're trying to do is just solve those problems to student learning. And by vibe coding something with the aid of Gemini, we can really do that. And we can work with Gemini on design choices and layouts and not have to worry about how we specifically would create that using code because Gemini can take care of all of those elements for us. And it's really good, isn't it, to think about our students and think about a tool that's really going to help to benefit them and help them to understand further the concepts with which we want to teach them about. So at this point, it might be good for you now to go take a quiz. Please feel free to scan the QR code and go and get your next badge. But thank you for tuning into this episode. We look forward to catching you on the next one.